If you're a working mom feeling overwhelmed, stretched thin, or like productivity advice was not designed for your real life, this episode is for you. Today, I'm talking with Mr. Productivity himself, Mark Struczewski, and he is not your typical do more, hustle harder productivity guy. Mark breaks down real life, doable strategies to help you reduce overwhelm, set boundaries without guilt, disconnect from digital distractions, and finally feel in control of your time again. If you're craving a calmer mind, a clearer schedule, and routines that actually work, don't miss this one. Let's dive in. Hey, Mama, welcome to Career Growth for Working Moms. If you're stuck in a job that doesn't fit or burning out trying to do it all, you're in the right place. I'm Shannon, a career coach and fellow working mom. Here, you'll get simple career strategies and strength-based leadership tips to help you grow with clarity and confidence. So grab your coffee or reheat it for the third time, and let's do this. Hello and welcome. Today's guest is someone who lives and breathes practical, real-life productivity, not the Pinterest version we all roll our eyes at. I'm excited to welcome Mark Struczewski, also known as Mr. Productivity. He's the host of the long-running Mr. Productivity podcast with over 1,300 episodes, and he helps busy professionals reduce overwhelm, stay focused, and get more done without burning out. Mark brings a grounded approach to productivity rooted in discipline, simplicity, and structure. And he's especially passionate about helping working moms reclaim their time, reduce digital distractions, and create routines that actually work in real life. Mark, welcome to the show. I can't wait for the audience to hear your take on productivity that supports their life instead of running it.
Just a second. I got to finish scrolling on TikTok. Wait a second. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm not on TikTok right now. I thank you for having me on the show. I am so honored to be here.
So many working moms, they feel like productivity advice wasn't designed for real life. So what do you think is the biggest misconception about being productive today?
Everybody is different. Everybody's definition of productivity is different. I and my wife are empty nesters. We have two dogs who pretty much are on their own. But if you have a whole bunch of kids at home, of course your productivity is going to be different. It would be crazy for me to say, no, moms, you should be exactly how productive I am. That's not reality. So I think everyone listening to the show needs to zoom back and go, how can I, in my very unique situation, be productive?
I love that. I love that. So another thing, and I guess productivity comes with overwhelm. And what, a lot of our listeners feel that overwhelm. And so what is a simple shift that they can make um, that that they can feel more control over their time?
You need to extend yourself grace. You need to realize you're going to have good days and bad days. You're going to have good hours and bad hours. You're going to have good minutes and bad minutes. And you need to be okay with that. When the house is in utter chaos, you need to be okay with, you know what? No one's got broken arms, no one's bleeding. It's a good day, and be okay with that and not allow yourself to be sucked into despair and frustration and just realize it's okay. I see a lot of people not extending themselves grace, and when their definition of a perfect life starts going off the rails, they lose it. I'm like, no, just stop, take some deep breaths, and realize that the house is still standing, no one's bleeding. It's okay. You're going to have good days and bad days.
Yes, I think that's so important because there have been times, I mean, we just moved, so my house has been utter chaos for a lot, but it's okay, I mean, I feel like I had to break it down to just one small thing I could do. What is one thing I can do in the next 20 minutes? What is one thing I can do in the next 20, like, and just keep going at that, at with that so that I felt more peace and calm in my life.
And what I wanted people to understand is you've said one thing I could do in the next 20 minutes. Maybe it's doing nothing. Maybe it's taking your
Yes.
kids out in the backyard and just like, I'm not going to do anything but watch the kids to make sure they don't get hurt. We don't, people are so tied up in productivity is doing stuff. Well, maybe it's not doing anything.
That's true. That's true. Because sometimes being outside and just being present is being productive.
Hmm.
I love
Hmm.
that. So we live in a digital world now, and digital distractions have been a major source of stress for women. And what's one strategy? I think you have a distraction detox that's especially effective that would help these working moms.
If you are not paying for the product, you are the product. Now, that has been quoted all over the internet. And what does that mean? When you are living your life through TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, et cetera, you are not being present with those around you and with real life. And we've got to understand that FOMO is real, but you can choose not to participate in this epidemic. I would even say a pandemic of FOMO. And what I encourage people to do is when you go outside, when you go for a walk, and I know this is going to sound really crazy, but leave your phone behind. I'm 60 years young. I was born in 1965. I didn't have my first cell phone until I don't remember, by 2000 or something. So I survived just fine. You don't always need to be on WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger and in Gmail and on Instagram Messenger. You don't have to be. Give yourself permission. You know what? I'm going to go hang out in the backyard with the kids. I'm going to leave my phone inside and I'm just going to spend 20, 30 minutes out with the kids. We are living in a society where we feel we always have to be on the phone and we don't. So that's number one. Number two, please, for the love of all things holy, disable vibration mode on your phone. Because when you mute your phone and you get a message or you get a call, your phone vibrates. So if you turn off vibration mode. And then you do the next thing I'm going to tell you about called a notification cleanse. Go through every one of your notifications on your phone and turn off the ones that distract you. But the ones that you decide that serve you, well, you can turn off the sound. So because you don't have vibration mode turned on and you have the sound turned off, if you're not looking at your phone, you don't know you have a notification. So some notifications are important. Like I like having my debit and credit card notifications turned on so I can see if Shannon's using my credit card. That's kind of important.
Right.
But do I need to know I was tagged at an Instagram post? No, because when I open up Instagram or TikTok or whatever, it's going to show me. So reduce your stress, reduce your overwhelm by turning off most of the notifications you have enabled already.
That's a little scary, but I have a friend that has done that. She took email, all of that off of there's no sound, and she said she's been happier the last couple weeks that she's done that than she has in a long time. And I'm like, oh wow, that's still a little scary.
It is scary, but it's scary because it's the unknown.
Yes.
But I encourage you to try it. And you
Yes.
may begin to experience what your friend experienced and go, wow. Now, obviously, if your kids are at school or something like that, you may want to leave certain notifications turned on. But let me ask you, Shannon, do you have notifications turned on for any social media platform?
Yes.
Ah, why? I'm curious. So I wanna
It's
understand here.
it's that ping. You feel like, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. It's that ping. You hear it, and you're like, "Oh wait, what do
Mhm.
I? Who's tagging me? What's going on?"
Mhm.
I do shut my phone off at times, and because I do think that's important, like when we do dinner time or family time. But I do have Facebook and Instagram notifications on my phone.
I would challenge you to turn off all notifications for all social media platforms for 7 days. And then either reach out to me, create a follow up episode, and say, you know what? I followed Mark's advice and I experienced less overwhelm. I'm not going to stop because your listeners are listening to you and they're like, okay, Shannon, Mark put the gauntlet down. What are you going to do? Because if you do it, Shannon, because I already do it. If you do it, you may change some people's lives. Are you
Uh,
up for the challenge?
I'm up for the challenge.
Oh, she heard it. Okay, hold her accountable, listener. She said she's going to do it.
Yes, I will do it. I will do it because I do think that that's important. I do. I mean, and I remember, especially when I was more in the corporate field than the coaching field, like I felt like I had to have my phone attached to me at all times because if my boss was going to call or text, I didn't want them to think I was less of an employee. But it actually, thinking back to it, it did stress me out more having those notifications instead of setting those boundaries that said, okay, it's 6 o'clock. I'm not going to respond to you until my kids go to bed. Then I'll take 15 minutes, look through my emails, and respond at that time.
Mhm.
So, yes,
It, it'll change your life because I think technology is a blessing and a curse. I love my pocket-sized notebook because it's the same size as my iPhone. So when I go someplace, this goes in one pocket with a pen, and my iPhone goes in the other pocket. If I'm at church taking notes, I'm not on my phone. I'm in my pocket notebook.
yeah,
I'm analog, not because I'm 60 years young, but because there's something powerful. I like reading physical books. This is Atomic Habits.
I
I'm
do
reading it for
too.
like the third time. I love physical books because guess what? You can't send me a message on a physical book. You can't
Right.
FaceTime me on a physical book. So I like going out in my backyard with my dogs and put my bare feet on the ground and reading a physical book. And I do have my phone with me, but a lot of people don't annoy me because I will turn off the notifications. So you
Right.
have to take control. It's your phone, it's your life. So don't let other people dictate your availability. Hear me clearly. Don't let
Yes.
other people dictate your availability. It's your life and say, I'm going to put these boundaries up. And if you ask anybody who knows me, I have very strong boundaries. I mean, my boundaries are 25 foot thick, they're 100 feet tall. I have snipers on there. I have a missile defense system. I have a SWAT team. I have poison
I love
piranhas and
it.
alligators. I mean, I have very strong boundaries, and people go, how do you say no? I said, test me out. Ask me to help you move. Will you help me move? No. Boom, done. I don't sit there and feel bad. And I encourage people, if you really want to get more productive, build up strong boundaries with your kids, with your spouse, with your neighbors, because people begin to respect people, not in the beginning, they'll get irritated in the beginning, but people will begin to respect you when you have strong boundaries. When your no means no, not like I'll think about it, they'll respect you. And more importantly, you'll respect yourself.
I love it. What do you say to the mom who says that maybe setting boundaries is selfish? She feels selfish for setting those boundaries.
Now, I'm not a mother. I've never been a mother,
No.
but my late mother who raised me, she had very strong boundaries. Her no was no, and her yes was yes. Believe me, I asked mom for a lot of rubbish when I was growing up, and she said no. She didn't think about it. She didn't think I'll think about it. I'll pray about it. I'll journal about it. She said no. That's what it was. So if you're struggling with boundaries, I'll tell you how to get a hold of me at the end of the show and just reach out and have a conversation. But you need to figure out in your own unique situation, how do you start building boundaries? Because you're going to teach your kids boundaries are important. You're going to teach your friends, your other fellow moms. Boundaries are important. So don't say, well, I feel selfish. No, flip it. It's going to make you stronger. It's going to make people respect you more.
I love that. I love that. So, what is a daily routine that you recommend for these working moms that could create the biggest impact with the least amount of time?
Oh, you had to bring moms in it because I say my routine is within 60 seconds of waking up, I'm in the cold shower, but I understand that may not work. When you're a busy mom, you need to give yourself time when it's just you. Now, maybe you have to get up a little early. Maybe if you work from home and your kids go off to school, instead of going right to your job, maybe you gift yourself 15, 30 minutes where it's just you. You're not working. Maybe you're reading a book. Maybe you're meditating. Maybe you're watching your favorite soap opera, whatever it is. You need to gift yourself some time because guys do it. We have something called cave time. So if guys have time, moms need to carve out time. It may not be an hour, but you need to carve out time where it's just you. No kids. They could be sleeping, but it needs to be time for you where nobody's knocking on your door and said, Mom, your husband's not saying, Babe, it's just you. Leave me alone because if you don't, Mom may freak out one day and all of a sudden, there's food all over the place and we don't want that. So make
Right.
sure you are giving yourself some quiet time every day. And I mean 7 days a week. I includes Christmas, includes vacations. You deserve to have some quiet time for yourself every day.
I agree with that. I love that. So, I would love to know what your thoughts are on multitasking. Do you think it's helpful or harmful?
It's harmful. And the number of people that can actually multitask is so minuscule that if you round it up to the nearest integer, it'd be like one. Okay. We are not capable of multitasking. Our brain, we're not talking about chewing gum and walking at the same time.
Right.
You cannot be composing an email while you're talking to someone, while you're preparing how to create a podcast episode. You need to do what I call complete the circle. So you're working on a task or a project and you have to move to something else. Make sure you get to that first project because you may not be able to complete it. You get it to some sense of completion or a good stopping point. You wouldn't stop reading a book in the middle of a paragraph. You'd probably get to the end of a page, end of the chapter, end of a section. So when you have to move from one task to another, find out a way you can get that first project someplace where when you go back to it, you're not spending a lot of time figuring out where did I leave off? Oh, I know where I left off right here. That makes sense?
Right. Yes, I love that. My kids are really good about that boundary. If I ask them to go do something, they're bookworms. So they'll say, "Mom, I will do that as soon as I finish this chapter. It is in 2 pages or 3 pages or whatever it may
I
be."
love that. I love that. How old are your kiddos?
My daughter's 13 and my son's 11.
And they have those kind of boundaries?
Yes.
I think you need to talk to your kids about how to establish boundaries. Shannon, I think you have two built-in coaches in your life that you brought into this world.
Yes.
They owe you that free coaching.
That is true. That is true. So, Mark, where's the best place for our listeners to connect with you?
One place, MrProductivity.com. You have to spell out the word Mr. MISTER, MrProductivity.com. When you go there, I don't know when this episode is going to come out, but right now at the top of my page is a free productivity scorecard. 10 questions, rate yourself, and then I'll send you a follow-up email and I will give you your score. I've had super productive people take it and got 39 out of 50. There's no shame. You cannot solve a problem you're not aware of. So take the 10 question quiz. Most people will take it. I'll send them the card, the scorecard, and they will feel embarrassed. No, you are so much further ahead than other people because you took the card. Now you know you have a problem. Now let's get on the phone call and let's start talking about it. So just go to MrProductivity.com. You can find out how to subscribe to my podcast. At the bottom, every one of my pages, it's got links to all my social media, my podcast and Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can sign up for my email newsletter. Everything is at MrProductivity.com.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, before we wrap up today, I love to leave my listeners with a powerful takeaway that they can do this week. What advice would you give them or challenge them to do?
If you live in an ideal climate, I live in Houston, Texas, so this is easier for me to do than people live up in Chicago or Maine or something like that. If you can, go outside, put your bare feet on the ground. Now, very occasionally we get snow in Houston. We had snow January 21st of 2025. I went out and shoveled a 6 foot by 6 foot area and I stood there in my bare feet on the ground. It's called grounding. Some people call it
Yes.
earthing. But what it does is it actually helps with the inflammation. Yes, you do get cold when it's cold outside. Now, with thunder and lightning, don't go out and hold a metal rod out there, but use common sense. But it feels so good. As a matter of fact, when I'm done with your episode here, I'm going back outside and put my bare feet on the ground because we walk around with these rubber soled shoes everywhere,
Mhm.
and you're not allowing the inflammation to escape. Our bodies are electrical entities. The earth is electrical entities. And when you put the two together, it actually sucks all that inflammation out. It does work. I was a skeptic at first. It does work. And plus, when you're outside, you're actually breathing in some fresh air instead of the
Yes.
stale air. Stale air in our house.
Yes, I love to do that. My kids and I will go out there and we have conversations while we go walk around in our bare feet. So,
Good.
yeah, so that's a great advice. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. It was such a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Hey, Working Mama, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds to share it with a friend who's stuck in her career but doesn't want to sacrifice her family to grow? Also, please leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts. It seriously lights me up to know this show is helping you navigate burnout, find clarity, and lead with confidence. All right, time to shut down my laptop and pretend I'm not hiding from folding that laundry. I'll meet you back here soon for another episode of Career Growth for Working Moms. You've got this.